"Why don't you go get dressed while I take Mr. Channer to the library?" my wonderful friend said. He wore an elegant smoking jacket over his silk pajamas and was eminently presentable. I was grateful it wasn't Shiloh who had come down first, because she likely would have asked him if he wanted his aura read or sung him dirty ditties while he waited. As Pish showed Mr. Channer to the library, I got dressed in a forest green Kiana wrap dress, because they were inexpensive and flattering to my body type. I had Kiana wrap dresses in all colors, and slipped on some bone pumps and pulled my dark hair back in a chignon. I pinned a cameo at my cleavage and hastily stuck bone-colored enamel stud earrings in my lobes. It took all of 5 minutes, and then 5 more for some makeup. I descended, put on the coffee, and then girded my loins, so to speak, to go to the library. Having dealt with my fair share of eccentric millionaires and the models they married, and armed with the laconic chauffeur's insight into his boss, I knew I might only have one shot at impressing him with the beauty of Wynter Castle. I was going to have to position it as a diamond in the rough, a blank slate, ready for molding into a highly polished gem. The stark exterior, no swimming pool, no formal gardens or even informal gardens to speak of, would have to be presented as a plus. This was virgin ground, ready for the imprint of a bold investor and brilliant designer. I would appeal to his ego, saying only a man with foresight could take on Wynter Castle and turn it into a finished gem. Mr. Percy Channer was a short man, with a bulldog face and no neck to speak of. He was dressed in an expensive suit, but with no necktie. I greeted him warmly, asked about his drive from New York, and offered him breakfast. "Nah, we stopped at McDonald's. Love the sausage McMuffin, but Brooke, my driver, might want some coffee." "I'll have someone take him a cup of coffee, or he can come into the kitchen and have a cup in comfort." Pish bustled off to take care of it while I began the tour. I couldn't get a handle on the man. He followed me willingly enough, but kept bringing the topic back around to Autumn Vale and Ridley Ridge, rather than the castle. I wasn't sure if he was trying to scope out the potential for converting the castle into a romantic destination for locals and tourists alike, but I could have told him not to hold his breath as far as the locals. They were more interested in a beer at the tap room on Saturday night than an evening of fine dining and wine as a classical quartet played. I didn't say that to him, of course, and I was not being snobbish in thinking the way I did. I had plenty of evidence, and had even been to the local bar a few times to shoot pool. It was just that kind of community. No pretension, no polish, just relaxed and real. We finished inside, and I grabbed my pashmina and strolled out to the flagstone terrace, leading him around to get a view of the distant woods and the property. I emphasized the castle's potential as a boutique hotel or even a spa retreat. There was plenty of room to build custom structures like a pool and sauna, I said, indicating the land with a sweep of my hand, or even cottages. We were, I said, protected from the outside world by forest and my uncle's arboretum, which I called Wynter Woods. "Isolated, right? How about newcomers? How are they welcomed?" I grimaced inwardly, as the unhappy incident with the woman in town and the graffiti on my castle had left a bad taste in my mouth. But I said, honestly enough, most of the locals have been very warm and welcoming. Though isolated, it's not especially insular. He nodded with a thoughtful look on his face. "Any new faces in your town?" I didn't know how to answer that. Not really. Mr. Channer, will you consider coming back for the party? I have locals catering, including Binny's Bakery in town.